Hello, good evening. I have to come to this particular video presentation, which makes an extra effort to explain what is estate agency practice. In a lot of earlier discussions, we were using the term estate agency practice without further explaining into the terminology used. So this particular video is specifically produced to explain what is this estate agency practice. Estate agency practice is something to do with agency, and agency in terminology of Contracts Act 1950 is under the section 135, agents and principal. So we mention about agency, it means some agent being a third person connecting to the principal. He acts in the middle. So an agent is a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealing with third person. A person in this case as an agent because he's appointed by the principal, or he's been asked by the principal to go and carry out a job with the third person, and the third person in a lot of time before the agency comes to effect. In fact, it's like public. The third person is the public. So principal is a person who authorizes an agent to carry out a job, and the third person is the third party who is unknown at the moment of the initial stage of appointment of the agent. So later on, as the agent looks for buyers, maybe out of 5 buyers, then eventually there is finally a prospect confirmed buyer. So the prospect confirmed buyer in this case would be the third party. So it's only when the conclusion of the deal that you actually have a third party appearing in a formal confirmed position. So estate agency practice is carrying out the middle person's job in dealing with a specific area of practice. It's not about being appointed to kill somebody. That is called assassin. It's not called estate agency practice, or it is not being authorized to do something like, for example, bringing goods from A point to B point, and then you become a transporter. You can be an agent for sending the courier, but you are not an estate agent for the particular area of selling an house or renting of a house. So agency is a broader term, and estate agency is a subset of agency, as in the normal context of appointment of a person carrying out another person's job. So estate agency practice is a very specific area of conducting agency of a real estate or real property scenario. So if you have a plot of say oil palm plantation, and you are selling this oil palm plantation to a prospect buyer, so an agent can be appointed to sell this oil palm plantation, and therefore he is he is carrying out an estate agency practice, although it is a plantation and not the land that you are selling. So this must be understood in the aspect of real estate, being real estate property, as including the real estate of real estate firms, real estate companies. A person undertakes real estate agency practice if he acts as an agent or hold himself out to the public or to any individual or firm as ready to act as an agent or for a commission, fees, reward, or other considerations. So in a case whereby a person advertises himself to the public, I mean using internet, using any form of media, to say that he is a house agent and he advertises the house that he is selling, then he is already under the acting for someone to do advertisement for real estate promotion. And a real estate promotion in the case of in this particular example is actually for selling. So in respect in respect of any sales or other disposal of land or building lah. And then the second part is purchase or acquisition. So if there is a buyer authorizing his agent to look for land or look for a building, then this person who is authorized to look for him to get a piece of land is actually doing estate agency practice. And in third C, in respect of any leasing or letting of land or building or any other interest therein, meaning to say if for landlord to ask someone else to look for a tenant, that someone person who act as a representative of the landlord is practicing as the agency practice. Making know of availability or land, building or any interest therein in such sales or disposal, purchase or acquisition. In the part D refers to, in fact, advertising or informing the third party, in this case informing the third party of the availability of such building or land or interest therein. So in fact it may be construed as practicing estate agency when you advertise in the social media that you have one property for sale or for rent. And even though it is an advertising effort, there is no collection of fee, there is no promise on offer to purchase or to rent the property. Advertising is making no, is already construed as the carrying out of the estate agency practice. However, so a lot of retail businesses of advertising, like for example putting a banner, putting up a fishtail, advertising along the entrance of a bank saying that selling certain houses, or advertising in the notice board, making no such availability is in fact rampantly done by a lot of brokers and illegal agents. So in fact there's a lot of question in the blur area here, where enforcement is the reason that may point to this law as being hard to carry out, because in making known of the availability doesn't mean that the person is completing the whole transaction by making a booking fee or earnest deposit collection. So if the person is just telling from his relative there is a house for sale, then in fact in the interpretation of section 22B subsection D, it is making note of the availability of that house. But however, this friend of relative is just making note, not really conducting as the agency practice in the blur area of law, because he has not collected any fee. And in the case of A, B, C, D and E, which is a subsection of the section 22B 1A, what 1A says is a person undertakes estate agency practice if he act and ready for a commission, a reward or consideration. So if a person were to offer that there is a house for sale but never involved in a collection of commission or never involved in collection of a booking fee, then it fulfills only part of this section and not the full part of the subsections, including the part on collection of fees and ready to act as an agent for a commission. Therefore, it is difficult, in fact, to charge a person who is just by word of mouth advertising that there is a piece of land for sale, but he has no intention of making a fee collection for the work he he is doing. So in a lot of scenario of loophole, many of the agents, illegal agents and brokers tend to do this advertising, making known without mentioning about the commission. Upon closing the deal, then only that the commission issue came about. And when there is a commission collection and there is a dispute over the amount of commission, then a lot of issue will come up. And a lot of time, because of this type of issue, then eventually the buyer back off and not going to buy from the vendor. And last part of the section 22B actually touch on the new subsection E, which is amended during the 2017 December amendment, which involved the tenancy administration. So this tenancy administration is inserted into the subsection 22B for the fact that a lot of time the agency practice involve coordination of the repair. The new tenant moves into the premises, and then later on found out that there is repair required, and therefore the agent, being helpful, usually get the repair done. So now this tenancy administration part of the job is being included officially into the section 22B of the law. So this law now amended includes tenancy administration, meaning to say, as an agent, apart from getting the tenant to rent from the landlord, there is a separate tenancy administration job, which is in a separate contract for the carrying out of the administration part, whereby there is a certain fee chargeable for this service, and this service follows what is in the current state under the property manager's schedule, where valuers are, in the old days, valuers are doing also property management, and there is a schedule fee for property management. So as of now, because there is no separate schedule for the estate agents doing tenancy administration, likelihood following of the existing current state of law to use the right for property managers in coming out with the tenancy administration under estate agency practice. This is my estate agency exam, estateagentsexam.com website for those who are interested to study estate agency under the board of valuers, appraisers, estate agents and property managers. Thank you very much.